Hello viewers, 4DIYers here, back with another video for everyone. In this video here I'll be showing you how to replace the SI board in a gauge cluster on a BMW E23. This is a 1984 733i and a similar procedure may apply to other BMW models in this generation. So from factory, the older model gauge cluster does have built-in batteries in the SI board. The SI board does assist in the functions of some of the gauges along with remembering your maintenance intervals. Eventually these batteries can leak and cause severe corrosion on the SI board, not allowing some of the gauges to function. In my case, the only gauge that was still working was the fuel gauge, and that's it. All the rest stopped working. I do have a more in-depth video on removing the gauge cluster, however I will give a brief overview. If you would like more information on the removal process, be sure to check out my other video. First, using a small standard screwdriver, gently slip in the standard screwdriver alongside the emblem in the steering wheel and then pop it out of its location. Using a 22mm socket and ratchet, remove a center nut on the steering wheel along with the washer and finally the steering wheel. Using a Phillips screwdriver, remove the 3 screws at the top of the gauge cluster. Then using the small standard screwdriver, gently pry out the gauge cluster from the top. There will be various wires in behind which will need to be removed. You may find that pushing in the steering column will help maintain a little bit more room. Using that small standard screwdriver again, remove the first connector. This is a white one on the left side of the cluster. Use that standard screwdriver to pry up that black clip on the connector and then pull out the connector. Continue to remove the rest of the electrical connectors. Finally, the gauge cluster can then be removed. Now for a view of that cluster once it's removed. We will need to disassemble the whole gauge cluster in order to remove the SI board. You'll need a Phillips screwdriver to remove all the perimeter screws on the back side of the gauge cluster. They will be on the same level of plastic. Do not remove the screws directly behind the gauges just yet. Finally, separate the gauge cluster assembly. Be careful as the illuminated lens indicators can fall out. They are specific shapes so they fit in a certain orientation and position. The tachometer and speedometer are clipped into the terminals just beside the fuel gauge, so it does take a little patience and force to remove each of the gauges. When it's unclipped, you then have to pull up on the top of the gauge to work it around the tabs on the back side. The speedometer comes out a little easier. Then place it off to the side. I should also mention to be careful with the needles on each of the gauges as they can bend very easily. Here's a quick view of in behind those gauges. Here you can see the terminals. Be sure to inspect those for any corrosion as the SI board can cause quite a bit of damage. Disconnect the one electrical connector on the back side. You may need to remove some of the light bulb sockets at the bottom of the assembly. Simply rotate them counterclockwise about a quarter turn and then pull them straight out. Gently pull apart the circuit board from the white plastic frame. Be extremely careful so none of the plastic gets cracked. Once it's separated slightly, there will be 2 ribbon cables that need to be disconnected. There will be one small wire that also needs to be disconnected. This simply pulls straight out of its connection. You may need the assistance of a small screwdriver to help when disconnecting those ribbon cables. Once that green one has been disconnected, you can then open up the assembly and work on the other ribbon cable. I ended up removing the SI board completely before disconnecting that ribbon cable, as I was having a hard time grabbing onto the connector. The SI board is held in with 3 Phillips screws. Finally, grab onto the electrical connector for the ribbon cable and remove. As you can see, there is 2 red batteries and the SI board is loaded with corrosion in different spots. Even the ribbon cable has some corrosion midway. These boards are rebuildable and the batteries can be replaced. That can potentially be a cheaper route if you're doing the work yourself. However, I opted out for a different option which I'll show you in a moment. Using isopropanol alcohol with Q-tips, I cleaned up the plastic frame to remove any corrosion that came off the circuit board. I also did the same thing for the terminals to remove any corrosion. I did notice quite a few electrical contacts that needed to be cleaned. So this is the time to make sure everything is right while it's apart. Some areas that have tough buildup or are hard to reach, you can use the assistance of a toothpick or brush. Just be careful not to bend any of the terminals. Once those terminals are clean, then is applying some form of contact protectant. For this, I'm using Deoxit D100L. I've been using this stuff for a load of different electrical projects and have been extremely happy with the product. This may take a couple coats to get all the areas. The D100L helps with removing oxidation and provides a layer of protection while improving conductivity. Depending on the corrosion, you may need the solution to sit overnight, clean off the terminals again, and then reapply. Now for reassembly, first is installing the new SI board. This is a batteryless version, meaning there is no batteries to leak or fail. There's a few different versions available online, along with pricing. The version without the batteries does not keep track of your maintenance intervals. As you can see, it has one ribbon cable instead of two. This only installs in the one location. Once installed, then put the main board back into place on the plastic frame. Next is clipping in the tachometer. Feed the bottom part in first, then align those terminals and push it into place firmly. Be extremely careful with the gauge faces as well, as they can show fingerprints easily. Next is clipping in the speedometer. After that is going around to the back side to clip in some of those lights back into place that were removed. Align the tabs, rotate clockwise about a quarter turn to lock them into place. Reinstall the light overlays into the appropriate spots. Finally, the lens can be put back into place. Make sure those overlays don't slide out of their location. And then the Phillips screws can be installed. I like to go around starting with each of the screws first, then tighten everything up at the end to ensure it's seated correctly. I remembered to do this just before installing the gauge cluster back into the car. Use a standard screwdriver to remove the two lights at the top of the assembly. These are used to illuminate the cluster at night. I remove these to replace these with LEDs to improve illumination and color while reducing bulb temperature in the plastic assembly. These are the same quarter turn sockets as before. Install the new bulbs and then install the sockets. For reassembly, it's in reverse of removal. Being that this is an old electrical system, I went ahead and applied some more electrical contact cleaner to each of the plugs and terminals to ensure everything is working correctly and there's no issues down the road. I worked from right to left in reverse of removal. First was plugging in the yellow and blue connectors, then finish up with everything else at back. Finally, the steering wheel's left. There should be a center punch mark on the steering wheel shaft and the steering wheel. Make sure those marks are lined up. If yours doesn't have any, make sure your wheels are straight and then reinstall the wheel accordingly. If you do find it's a little off, then you can take the vehicle out for a test drive and leave the installation of the BMW emblem to the very last. The torque specifications for the steering wheel is 58 foot-pounds or 80 Newton meters. After that, you can then align the emblem and push it back into place. This concludes the rest of my video. New videos released every week on my channel. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It's a huge help to me, and leave a comment below if you found this tutorial helpful. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to also hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.